Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, SNAP benefits are getting cut. Also, a look at the winners and the losers from last week's election. And we're going to take a look at men who hate women.
No, I don't want you to call for help. There. You won't listen, but you'll shut up and stay there.
Watch and learn, boys. Watch and learn. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and as always, I'm joined by Susan Britt, research guru extraordinaire, and the man in black, Josh Moon, investigative reporter and columnist at APR. It looks black from here. Is it black?
Or dark blue, the man in dark blue. But listen, I'll go with the Johnny Cash reference. Absolutely. I'm okay with that.
Johnny, unfortunately, is no longer with us, so we need a man in black. So there you go.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of things we got to get to today, but right up front, I want to talk about the fact that we're seeing so much harassment of female candidates today. I mean, Christina McInnis, who is running for Ag and Agriculture Commissioner, who's got a lot of grassroots traction, was harassed steadily by this individual. And he took on different personas so that he could stalk her and bully her and all that. Susan, that she finally had enough, got him arrested, and he's serving 90 days in jail after he pled guilty to the harassment charge. But we're seeing this not only in politics, but for young girls, we know this exists. But I've never seen it to this level in politics before.
Well, I haven't either. I mean, and it, again, just like with racism, it's getting more prevalent because of social media, because people can hide behind fake identities. This guy that was harassing her had 27 fake profiles from which he was harassing her. So, I mean, people can hide behind names and all that. This has never really gone away, the hatred of women, the not wanting women to, advance. It's just now it's behind a fake name. They can say things out loud they've been thinking all these years, but do it behind a fake name.
Josh, you wrote about this recently, about the phenomena of what has happened on social media that has caused harm and allowed these hate groups to get together and flourish. I mean, you've looked at this very deeply.
Yeah, it's first of all, social media in general, I think, is overall harmful to us. You know, if it were used in the way in which it was originally intended, in which some folks get on and share some photos of their children or themselves or whatever, then that's one thing. But what has actually occurred over the course of time is it's morphed into this permeating source in our lives in which people have access to us endlessly. And, I've not to this level, of course, but I've been harassed online. I've had to block some people. I've had to, I've had to report some threats. I've had people, create fake, identities on there to try to, harass me and send me pictures of stuff and talk about my family and my daughter and all sorts of different things, And so there are crazy people in the world. And what social media has done for so many people is bring those crazy people into your homes, right, and into your lives, and to a point where you have a hard time getting rid of them. And we have not done near enough in that spectrum for our lawmakers and other people have not done near enough to force companies to build a wall that allows us to keep these people out, and especially for women to do this. Yeah. And now we've entered into a time where we have this Christian nationalist movement that seeks to diminish women in their roles and their rights and what they can say and what they can't say. And it just goes hand in hand with the stuff that they've been getting online.
Yeah, I mean, it's Susan, it really is. They're trying to push it back and say that women are less than men. They're pushing that they should be subject to their husbands. in ways that are not, but what they do is they grasp onto passages in the New Testament, of the Old Testament, and they bring those forward, and they want to make everybody live by these rules. And it's disgusting, because women are equal to men in every way imaginable that matters. But yet we have this movement, like Josh said, the Christian nationalists, who are pushing this agenda where women are less equal than men. In the barnyard, we're all equal. But I will move on to Ms. Patel, which you and I were talking about earlier. Ms. Patel lost her city council election, but she did very, very well, especially considering the backlash to the fact that she is a Muslim of Indian descent. Now, they kept calling her all kinds of names other than anything respectful, but they did this because she was a woman and because she was not a Christian, which this is, again, just hate. That's all it is.
It's the same thing over and over again. It's all hate all the time, and it's done behind the scenes, and where they can hide behind their fake names on Facebook or Twitter or whatever you call it now. I mean, one of the most offensive ones that I heard, that I saw, was where someone said, "Why can't we just kill these people and be done with it?"
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? I can't imagine that level of hatred of another human being or another religion or another ethnicity. But it's reached to that level, and it's just disgusting and scary.
Well, the thing is, and Josh, we've seen this kind of thing grow and grow and grow. I mean, but after 9/11, those of us who were alive and well, and Susan and I lived in New York City, there was a coming together. There wasn't this whole idea of, well, all Muslims are terrible and we must kill them. This has progressed since 9/11. This was not the immediate reaction. It was a small group. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you would think that it would have diminished, given the fact that we've had so many non-Muslims commit similar mass shootings in the country.
Exactly.
And I mean, it just. Honestly, there is nothing that you can point to in one religion that you can't find some sort of equal awfulness in another.
Oh, yeah.
And it just, the people that get so wrapped up into this, it's like there are those that are out there seeking to find some reason to hate people.
Yeah.
And that's all this is. It's just another reason to hate people for the flimsiest of reasons.
Yeah, because again, I think about the fact is, it is not American to judge another person's religion. It is not a policy of the United States. It should not be a policy of Alabama. We should be allowed to worship the God we choose, or not worship any God, or worship many gods. It doesn't matter. It's the rule of law that we should be concerned about. We seem to be forgetting that the rule of law is what matters in this country.
Well, I want to end this on a positive note, though. I want to end this on, I applaud these women, these two women, for their bravery, their backbone and standing up, for their refusing to back down, from refusing to get out of the race. I really want to applaud them and tell them, I'm just so proud of you. Yep. Keep it going, and keep encouraging other girls and women to do the same.
Absolutely.
That's the only way we're going to fight back
That's
against
absolutely.
this.
You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
Your home is your most valuable asset. But what if someone tried to steal it from you? Property fraud is one of the fastest growing areas of fraud in the country today.
As a district attorney, I've seen firsthand the devastating effects of property fraud. That's why I'm proud to support the Montgomery County Probate Court's REACT program.
REACT is designed to protect your property and to give you peace of mind. By signing up, you'll receive an email notification if a document is filed against your property.
This program is a game changer. It has the potential to prevent fraud and protect countless homeowners throughout Montgomery County.
So don't wait. Sign up for REACT today and protect your home.
Protect your home with React. Sign up today.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. We had a lot of municipal races this past week. Susan, Josh, we watched them all, but we can't get to them all. But there were some that particularly stand out. And I think the first one that truly stands out to me, and Josh, you can speak to this, is State Representative Barbara Drummond down in Mobile actually bested the elite's candidate down there. Now they're in a runoff because no one got 50, 50 plus one. But it is amazing that Spiros, I forget how to pronounce his name.
Kyrgios? Yeah, there you go.
Kyrgios was favored. Even Mayor Stimson endorsed him, and yet she overcame him with grassroots. Now I don't know what happens next, Josh, but Barbara Drummond is a woman to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think people appreciate the fact that she is from Mobile. That she has been around there her entire life. She's been representing them. She understands the issues that the real people face in that city and in that district. And I just think that I also think that people responded very poorly to Kyrgios and his story about his father, and the way that he viewed that whole incident in which his father, took a shot at and killed a man,
Yep.
and then served some time, and then he tried to play that into something in which his father was the victim and his family was the victim out of that, and I think people responded very, very negatively to that, especially given the fact that he's a judge.
Yeah.
He was a judge in the town. I think that people took that and said, we can't have this. And we are going to choose somebody that's a little more grounded and a little more based in reality, I guess. And so I think Barbara Drummond is certainly that. She will serve that. She would serve Mobile very, very well. They would be fortunate to have her.
Well, I don't think, I know that Barbara Drummond's been through a few things in her life, but she's not going to get out there and play the victim.
No, and Kyrgios was talking about, and as a sitting judge, saying his dad shot the guy in self-defense when he shot him in the back.
Yeah.
So I myself have a
the
problem
only
with that.
defense for that is his back was to me, I guess.
Yeah, I
But
suppose
I don't
so,
think
anyway.
but it did play fairly poorly for Mr. Kyrgios. Hey, Josh, there was a lot of competition down in Birmingham to try to unseat Mayor Woodfin. But man, he beat the competition like a rented mule. I've never seen. I mean, it was a disaster for anybody running against him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely made it make sense, and that he was that he won by what tripled up everybody in this race.
Yeah,
It was an
75%.
8-candidate race, and he got 75% of the vote. I mean, it's that was a lot of. There sure was a lot of talk.
Yeah.
And there sure was a lot of people. And some people, I think, probably ruined their political careers. One person in particular, going forward. And it's a shame. It's a shame to see it. It's a shame that I thought that career was going to be pretty promising in the long run. But and I hate that it ended up the way that it did. But congratulations to Randall Woodfin. I think he has been a good mayor of that city. I think that he will continue to be a good mayor of that city. Like Stephen Reed in Montgomery, I think he has taken on some criticism for things that have been generations in the making that were done in that city that he has been trying to correct. And I think he's done a fairly decent job in trying to address a lot of those things. And I think voters in that city turned out and said, yeah, we'll take this guy again.
Yeah. And
I believe they called it a three-peat.
The three-peat.
The three-peat, yeah.
Well, and people come. There was crime. There is crime there, but we've always had crime.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing new.
Like this sending the National Guard into D.C. There's always been crime in D.C. it's not any worse than it has been. There's always been crime in big cities, Birmingham, Mobile,
Montgomery.
Montgomery. They're there. Part of it is because they're black. That's why they get the National Guard called out.
Of course
too.
it is.
That's the whole deal there. But anyway, half our audience won't believe that. But one of the things I thought was really good, Susan, is that these book burning candidates or these candidates running for city council and this type of thing who wanted to get rid of books in libraries, all but one of them got smashed.
There were 5 candidates. 4 of them went down.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been pretty serious stuff. The mayor of Ozark, Mark Blankenship, he backed the book ban, also lost his reelection bid. He only got 30% of the vote. He was the one that threatened to defund the Ozark-Dale County Public Library over the LGBTQ books.
Right.
And the voters came out and said, no.
Yeah, we're done with you.
We're done with you. You're out of here.
Yeah. And
Man.
yeah.
I'll tell you right now, when somebody reads these results to those people, they're going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, well, I don't think they read much. What about you, But it is interesting to me that, these people who ran on this platform, Josh, of banning books that children can read or young adults can read, they didn't do well. They didn't do well.
Yeah, no, because it's a stupid platform.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing.
Even the dumbest of people take a look at this thing and say, wait a minute, well, you're just the library. Why don't you just watch your own kids? And we get to go in and pick out whatever books we would like to read. You watch your kids to make sure they don't read things they're not supposed to, just the same as you do in the gas station and stuff, so they don't get the magazines and whatnot. Or I'm assuming there's still magazines in gas stations. I have no idea. But I mean,
anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just saying, we've always had books with things that I guess some parents would deem inappropriate for their children to read, and they've always been available. But we've always just watched our kids and said, hey, how about you not read that and put it up?
Yeah, yeah, and look, let's just face it, a 14-year-old with a cell phone can get pretty much anything they want, do anything they want. I mean, it's like when we're banning porn online. No, you didn't, you dummies. Yeah. You just made it a little more difficult, but everybody can get it still, right?
Yeah. Can I say one other thing?
Yes, please do.
It's further ludicrous in the face of what we saw this week in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That where we have kids actually dying in mass numbers, and it happens all the time in this country. Okay, all the time, and you're not doing anything at all to address those. There's no outrage from these same people. There's no policy issues from these same people. There's nothing that's coming down the pike to help solve any of these things, to keep the guns and things away from the people that are doing these sorts of things right here. There's none of that. But by God, we're going to try to ban a book. I mean, shut up. People see through this.
Anyway, stupidity all the way around. Anyway, you're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Welcome back to the voice of Alabama politics. I want to start off talking about how this big, beautiful bill that got touted as some kind of heroic and dramatic change and everything. Yeah, it's dramatically changing things, but not for the better for working class and poor people. But this came up at a town hall meeting that Barry Moore, who's running for Senate, had down in Fairhope, I think it was. And Josh, I mean, the circus, I mean, he got booed like crazy down there. It was just horrible. I mean, those people, I mean, kind of told it like it was, you know?
Yeah, no, he had one in Fairhope that didn't go very well, and then he had another in Daphne that went even worse.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and listen, the people, the Republicans have faced a lot of these town halls. He's not the only one who's faced one. And listen, I'll say this. To Barry Moore's credit, okay, there have been a lot of Republicans who have run away from these things.
Yeah.
There are some sitting right now that allegedly represent us. Dale Strong is one who has run from his constituency. Yeah. Barry Moore showed up to both of those things.
Yeah, he did.
And even when he saw what that looked like out there, he still went and answered questions and took the heat. And there's something to be said for that. Okay. Now his answers were idiotic, but that's in my opinion. Of course, we see things a little differently. But I'll say I've got to give Moore credit for at least showing up and taking the heat and doing his job. That is something and now let me say this. I bet you today, Barry Moore feels a little differently about some things. I bet you he thinks a little differently about some
Well, let me say something that it may shock our longtime viewers. But I would rather have Barry Moore to represent the state of Alabama in the U.S. Senate than that crooked little wimp, Steve Marshall.
Absolutely.
Who all he has done is kiss the butt of anybody that he thought could help him along. I mean, you want to talk about people being Leonard Leo's boy? He's Leonard Leo and that whole bunch's boy.
He is.
But yet he has portrayed himself as this strong attorney. BS, he hasn't done anything but write letters that he didn't even write, opposing the Biden administration. Oh, give me a break. But Susan, our kids, our poor people that depend on food supplement money, SNAP benefits, are going to get booed, screwed, tattooed, and finally the legislature has woken up to what you've been saying for almost a year.
Yeah, we're looking at it, about a month ago, we were looking at about 148 million deficit here just for this state and what we're going to be able to cover in SNAP benefits, which is now risen. They think now it's going to be more like $208 million.
Yeah.
And what's happening is right now we're kind of sharing the cost with the federal government. It's kind of half and half. It's a 50-50. It's going to shift to a 75-20, where Alabama's responsible for 75% of SNAP benefits and the federal government's responsible for 25%. But now the lawmakers are scrambling. We've been talking about this ever since this big, beautiful bill started, that this is what was going to happen, and Alabama can't afford it. They need to start looking for answers. And finally now, they're beginning to look.
But Josh, and they said it right there in the budget meeting, we don't have the money. And they also said in the budget meeting that we're headed toward a fiscal cliff because we've had investments in that, and the state has really good investments thanks to young Boozer, our treasurer. But interest rates are going to come down, so they're going to start losing money there. And all that COVID dollars that are sitting in the bank, they're gone by the end of the year.
Well, should have voted better. Should have voted better. There was an option there where you wouldn't have lost all this. Where we're on top of the SNAP. Let's also don't forget about Medicaid. That's going to take some cuts. Let's also don't forget about our Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Education, that funds a tremendous portion of our school systems around the state that is going to be done away with. And so that's more expense is going to come from us, no matter how we slice it up. If this goes back to the states to handle, guess where we don't start? Guess where we're not getting money from? You know, the communists that we love to talk about out in California that are one of the biggest funders of all of us red states out here. Those people are now taking care of their own. And so this is the problem that we're going to have, and we're going to continue to have it. So let me predict what's going to happen. All of a sudden, a whole bunch of people in the legislature in the upcoming session are gonna fall absolutely in love with gambling. This is gonna be the gamblingest session that we've ever had in our lives. So we can try to bridge this gap and get as much money as possible. And we're gonna probably put casinos on every lake in this damn state to make sure it happens.
One can only hope. That is the only answer.
maybe-
That is the only way we're going to be able to do any of this.
Senator Tuberville was out this past week talking to groups, and one of the things he brought up was that he would like to cut the income tax in Alabama, and he'd like to cut some other taxes in Alabama. And look, I'm not criticizing him. I heard from people in business, I heard from people in politics, and said, we got to talk to him because that's the only way we fund the state. We don't have any money. We're broke unless, Josh, like you said, we get money from the federal government, courtesy of California and New York and places.
We have the lowest property taxes in the nation. In the nation, and we're still broke.
We have the lowest income tax rates in the nation.
Yeah.
We have, I mean, listen, look, you don't want to tax me, I won't pay them, okay? All right, and we'll be okay. But, I mean, at some point, math matters, okay? And listen, I'm not great at math, and neither is my wife, and our poor daughter is going to be, double horrible. But I know I can do basic addition and subtraction, and it ain't working, brother. I mean, you can talk about it all you want to, but if that's your ideas, they're not going to happen. I'd pick something else.
Well, I can tell you this from the lawmakers and people I heard from, they're like, okay, what do we do now? But this is, again, somehow the Supreme Court and the Republican majority in Congress are letting President Trump, whether you love him or hate him or whatever, be basically an imperial president because they're afraid of him, is basically what it is. It's not that they agree with him that much. But see, that's a whole different dynamic. In the state of Alabama, the governor has basically two powers: appointments, who gets appointed to various committees and commissions, and asphalt, who gets roads. And that's really pretty much, other than the bully pulpit, has nothing. And there's no reason to be afraid of any governor in Alabama because they have no power. But unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it right there. You've been watching the voice of Alabama politics. You watch us because we watch them.